Gave them a run for their money, didn't we?
There was a double meaning in those final lines of one of the longest-running shows in television. And it certainly was not lost on an emotional crew during the last few moments of Beachcomber history. Those hugs and kisses represent years of friendship and work, the impact of which has been felt around the world. Beachcombers has been shown in over 40 countries.
¿Quién estará metiendo mano a los camiones?
El operador de la grúa nos mataría a todos jugando.
But for all its laurels, the show had a somewhat shaky and modest beginning. A beginning which producer Derek Gardner will never forget.
And we felt like we were, pioneers, because nobody had ever had worked continually on the water like we had before. And a family feeling that was, I think there were probably times that I felt closer to the people that I was working with than I ever had with my family. There were no secrets. You knew, you knew everybody else, and you knew them right down to their soul. It's a very strong feeling.
Just take some pictures. Stop talking.
These days, cast and crew are still pretty tight. But the difference is, some crew members were literally babies when Beachcombers hit the airwaves. Others were young upstarts looking for a break.
It was funny, I was thinking last night as I drove up for my last night here, and I remembered the first night 16 years ago that the difference was that this time I drove up in a $50,000 sports car. Last year, 16 years ago, I came up in a $150,000 Greyhound bus.
Action.
Beachcombers has certainly helped to create some stars, perhaps none more than Bruno Gerussi.
There are a few people with lumps in their throats. It's a sad moment, but...
How's your throat doing right
now? I'm all right. I'm tough.
How are you going to think about Beachcombers? How are you going to put that into perspective?
I'm not going to dwell on it. There'll be times sometimes. And maybe, come spring of next year when normally we start shooting, there might be like an old horse heading for the barn or heading for the fire truck or whatever. I might feel something, but, it's just something you put in perspective, and there you are.
But for die-hard beach fan Phil Collin, it's hard to put the end into perspective. He flew out from Airdrie, Alberta, just to see the final episode being shot.
I'm very sad to see it go. I'm never going to follow another show like I followed this one, and to not see any more new ones after this, I think, is going to be very sad for me and Canadian people as a whole.
For many, the end is sad, to be sure. But at a spontaneous wrap party at Molly's Reach following the final scene, tears and champagne were interspersed with lots of laughter and some words of wisdom from Relic.
Don't look back, you look there. And that's what I'm going to be doing.
Cheers, Robert. All the best to you, pal.
Michelle Gibson, CBC News, Gibson.